Good morning. Good morning from the Choptank River in Maryland, celebrating this incredible sunrise. You can't see it if I go that way. On this beautiful day of creation, birth of the world, Rosh Hashanah, new month, new moon, new opportunity to find our own way home, returning to ourselves and our essence. And in this past year, the thing that's just become so clear is the personal work, the solitude or solitude work that some of us choose to do on this path. And in some ways I don't always feel like I'm choosing it. I feel like it's choosing me. I feel like it's just what I'm here to do. So in lots of ways I'm choosing it over, I guess, other ways I could spend my days, and yet it also feels so much bigger than I am. So we're in this process of turning the season, turning the month, turning the world, turning the year. Joanna Macy, in the work that reconnects, it's called The Great Turning. And I'm just sitting in this place of deep, deep gratitude for the ways in which these traditions are weaving and just make so much sense. So in the Hebrew calendar, this new moon cycle is the new year. In the Ayurvedic calendar or cycle, this is the time when we're starting to transfer from Pitta, fire, here up in the northern hemisphere, to Vata, wind and dryness. And in the work that reconnects, we talk about the great turning as opposed to business as usual. And it just feels like we all have an opportunity to get into the harmonious wave of the great turning away from business as usual. And that's what these practices, it's like, for me, following moon cycles has given me something bigger than myself to watch expansion and contraction sort of in real life each month. And then Ayurveda practices, Ayurvedic daily practices, lifestyle, feminine form, have given me an opportunity to put it into practice. It's like the how. It's the how I do it. And then thinking about Joanna Macy's work and the work that reconnects, it's been so helpful in terms of a larger spiritual ecological framework where I can really combine this love of divine, nature, land. There's this great tree here. Can you see it? And it's kind of like this larger framework and context from which the Hebrew calendar invitations, the monthly invitations, the Ayurvedic practices, it's like there's so many amazing synchronicities and connections between these wisdoms together. I also want to say that the two sort of anchors that have been really helpful also have been regular grief practice in community and in solitude, both. Really working with grief as a path of deepening life and connection to life and living. Grief has been really helpful for me, and for lots of people it's like built into our system. And also ancestor reverence, so moving beyond just the me and mine and the individual and into a larger context that all of these traditions have. When we're talking about the earth as ancestor, when we're talking about when bodies decompose and then it becomes the world that we're on and that we're living in and we're working with. And in Jewish tradition, we do have lots of ancestor reverence practice and ancestral healing practice. And in Ayurvedic practices, this is the time of year where we do that deep tarpana, that deep healing work towards our ancestors, beloved, ill, sick, those in our bloodlines, those not in our bloodlines, those in our dreams. So it just feels really potent this morning to be bringing in, on this day of the birth of the world and of creation. I like to think of it as a story of creating, of expanding, of what's possible, what's possible in real life, from real life, in a way that feels fully integrated and aligned to who we are now and who we are becoming.